Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Vices Inc. titled Rapid Fire. And if we switch over to here, we have that typical A-B roll here. 1,000 plays us off the bat. 1,000 plays off the bat. That's pretty dope. I've had a great time so far with Vices Inc. listening to such albums such as An Everyday Hero. What else have we listened to? We listened to Rolling 82 as well. Hold On Gravitron and all these kind of things. It's fun. It's fun. And I also did an interview with these guys last year, which is pretty dope. We are going to be listening to one song today. I'm going to be listening to Rapid Fire, which is obviously the title of the single. If you like the song, I thoroughly recommend also listening to The World Doesn't Fit. I'll probably do that outside of the reviews. But without further ado, we're going to listen to this track from start till finish. Hear what we think. Let's go, man. Let's do this. What do we got? Synths, strings, a slow build in the volume. Sort of a sense of evolution about this. Oh. Okay. Really poignant lead riff there. I see that art. It's everyone's not so favorite political figure at the moment. It's a hell of a time at the moment, isn't it? I have a feeling this may be a song about that. I might be wrong. Typically the single art does not tell lies, and I think it's fantastic that we're writing about that sort of thing. Shit, they gave me chills. Those are great lyrics, talking about killing the other side and how it makes the person feel and asking if they want to die and everything like that. And it's a brutal situation. I think it's great that we're making music by this. We need to express our ideas in constructive ways. I thoroughly support it, you know. I'm liking the guitar tone there. There's a really present distortion there with these drums and bass. Yeah, I like these side vocals here that are up in that higher range. I think they work really well with the center field where we got the singer. We got the singer with some vocal fry. We got the vocalist with some vocal fry. And it's a treasure. It is a treasure. Really voicing and phrasing ourselves well over the rest of the harmony. Love the guitar harmonies here. Arpeggios. Or just a lead line, eh? Actually, it's just a fill, isn't it? It's just an instrumental break. Being the man you'll never be. Shit, man. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Because these people are going in there causing all this ruckus. There is a hope that they'll face repercussions for their actions. And just to talk about the music as well, there's a sense of tension throughout the guitarist with these palm muting and string skip parts, as well with the drums that just keep riding on and marching on, dude. These growly rapid fires on the side make it sound a little bit heavier than usual. I'm liking this heavy rock, kind of heavy metal vibe. It gives me like kind of feelings of like a lot of the some of the what kind of I'm saying hair metal. I can also hear like it's got like a Motley Crue vibe to it, but with a whole lot more sophistication, I suppose. Got those Van Halen-esque kind of lead riffs here. Those arpeggiated runs and the solos on the chorus. It's great, man. Everything's stacked really well. It sounds like she's really high in her vocal range, and that's it's brutal. It sounds like I mean, she's got great vocal techniques. I'm sure she's handling it fine, but you really do need to be able to sing well and be able to use this part. And like, no, you need to be able to sing with your whole body to be able to pull off stuff like that. You can't just rely on your throat to carry it. The guitar, bass, and drums have kind of been supporting the vocals throughout the entire of the time. We've got some interesting extensions in there sometimes with some of these palmuted bits. Oh, wow, we're going that way, are we? You're the one left behind to die. Damn, the tables have turned now. You went in there, you went and splashed around like you own the place, and then boom, it's all on you. I'm liking the fact that we've got freedom of expression within this track, not only in the story, but also in the fact we're not sort of melodically bound to typical chorus melodies or hook ones where these guys at Vice's Inc. are at a point where they're not super desperate to retain your information, your attention every 3 seconds. They know by now that the people who listen to them, they recognize that they can play. And so obviously they're talking about these sorts of things, you know, like because I mean, Vice's Inc. are big enough to have a platform now. You know, they've got people who follow them and stuff like that, and they want to communicate and express their ideas to the bands that they work with. I think that's fantastic. I'm liking these synthy bits as well. It started like very sad and almost like it was mourning the loss of common sense with all the kind of crazy bullshit that's gone on so far in 2022. It's been a bit of an unfortunate year in certain respects. It's not all been bad, but there are a few things happening at the moment, such as what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. It's horrendous. You know, it's unimaginably brutal for these people living there. And musicians need to be writing music about this kind of stuff. It's the last time I'll say it, because this is, of course, the conclusion. But I'm proud of Vice's Inc. for having a social conscience and putting that forward in their music. It's a shame. I mean, I'll listen to The World Doesn't Fit in my own time. But I have a lot of love for what Vice's Inc. are doing at the moment. I hope they continue to explore other topics like this. I'm not saying they haven't done in previous songs or albums. It's just that this is very on the nose here, but in the best possible way. They're not trying to be subtle about it. You know, like if I talk about, I think we've talked about what the story is about. I think it is about a dictator who is making people fight the battles for them, and then maybe they get stuck in it somehow, and then the people turn on them, and then they end up the ones losing their life and their freedom. And I think a lot of people are hoping for that. I think a lot of people are hoping that it will turn around and that things will get reversed. It would certainly solve a problem that didn't need to be created. But at the same time, I think that the thing that helped serve the sense of frustration and resentment is the vocal performance. There was a visceral nature to it, especially in those upper ranges. It sounded harsh. It sounded like there was a judgment being cast down. Like we were just so done with it, you know? I gotta say, we're hitting those notes really well now. A lot of those legato and ornamental packages were great. With Hez is fantastic. I've been reviewing Vices Inc. for about a year or two now, and over the last 18 to 24 months, 2 years, they've solidly improved in most, if not all, areas. They're already a pretty good start with, but they're developing their sound, and I think they're at a point where they're happy with it, and I'm very proud of them for that. And, you know, like, in addition to that, I haven't really spoken much about the guitar parts. There was, or like the instrumental section, all the sections in general. We had like a traditional verse, chorus structure, you know, which works well. It works well for this kind of heavier rock stuff, you know, it's easy to follow. I think the strength lies in the fact that we didn't feel the need to overcomplicate it further than that. This was a song that was trying to give a clear message, and it did it really, really well. It wasn't a sterilized performance, which I think was especially important. You know, like, while we had a more traditional structure to it, the guitar riffs were raw, man. They were fizzly, they were in your face. Although I will say, it did sound like some of the guitar parts were a little bit quiet. When the vocals were panned, you could hear them clearly, but I'm wondering if we double track the guitar parts. I've said this to bands before, and in case I haven't said it to Vices Inc. With this kind of distorted stuff, as you're probably aware, and I say this knowing you're probably aware of this, we need to double track those guitars on the side. Put it at 85 to 100, especially if you're working with distorted guitars. If you want that heaviness to it, that's what you're gonna get. I mean, like, if we go back a little bit, yeah, it's a shame because the guitar sounded like that in the center of the stereo field. I'm wondering, like, two things could have happened. One, we could have just wanted to have the guitars in the middle, which is fine. The only issue with that is that the guitars and the vocals opposite, you know, occupy a similar frequency spectrum. So you have a situation where you're having to sort of like give and take with the two, and it gets kind of messy. Alternatively, we could have recorded one take of it, then put it on the other channel on the left, but then you get phasing issues, and it's just rough. I think these guys, I know these guys know what they're doing with their recording, but just in case, that's the situation. Aside from that, the drums were phenomenally played. The guitar sounded great too. I'm liking, again, the freedom to not just roll with rhythm chords, you know, like power chords and all that. We did some chug chugs, we did some string skipping, we did some kind of mid-2000s middle kind of, you know, it was great. And otherwise, it was a fairly minimalist sort of composition, but again, final time I'll say this, it worked in their favor. And the recording, mixing, mastering, the drums were great. I've already talked about the distorted guitars being in the center field. They could have probably been a little bit wider, even if you were doing guitar harmonies or something like that. And if they were already like that, you know. The bass, the dum dum bum 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 bum. Haven't spoken about the bass yet. Like, that was a consistent. It had a presence there. It was very subtle though. Like, you have to kind of just drop the rest of the elements of the mix that you're paying attention to, and hear the dun 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 dun. It drives you forward, man. It works really well with the rhythm of the hi-hats. They were doing eighth notes, I think. And it's this driving force that powers through that 4.5 minute track. This track didn't feel like it was 4.5 minutes. It felt like it was a lot shorter than that, which is symbolic of the fact that it was well written, or indicative of that. Aside from the guitars being a little bit quiet in the mix, the vocals were at the right point. The drums and bass were fantastic. And, you know, by virtue of that, I think that we have ourselves a pretty solid single. Again, I'm not sure how the World Doesn't Fit goes, but I'll probably listen to it at my own time. To Vices Inc. for creating and writing and producing and releasing a song like this. I'm really proud of you guys. Stay strong over there, you know? So it's a wild, wacky world we live in. A few people are making some really awful decisions. It's great that musicians such as yourselves are trying to communicate how you feel about it, because that's how the best music's made. It's by authenticity, about purpose, about creativity, and it's all about wanting to work towards something better, you know? But effectively, this is my review of Vices Inc. with Rapid Fire. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Vices Inc. some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.